Welcome to Don't You Know I'm Loco podcast, where we're breaking generational curses and normalizing mental health. We're 3 cousins who span 2 generations, and we're here to share our own experiences on our mental health and healing journeys. Join us as we talk about
the things we're not supposed to talk about.
See. Welcome to episode 6.
Damn.
It went by so fast.
That's fast, yes.
Yeah. But it doesn't feel like it. But it does, you know?
Yeah.
Like it feels like well, I don't know.
Maybe because we had so much practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, practice.
Yeah.
You did what?
The last episode was like a really good flow to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Not too much editing, huh?
No.
No.
I know. I was like, oh shit, this is... You can probably play this thing through.
Right? All right. So we're going to start with our challenges for the week. I'm going to start off.
Yeah.
Because...
I'll go last this time.
Okay. So this week I flew to Ontario for my godson's graduation.
Oh,
I'm going to cry.
Oh my
He
God.
graduated high
Crazy.
school.
Graduated.
Little baby. And
Wait. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
Oh, and he's so handsome.
He is. Okay. Good job, bestie. So first my flight got delayed, and it was Frontier, which I've never flown Frontier, and I literally just went with the bag and was like, okay, this is what I'm like, my outfit, and that's it. And so the flight says, like, the plane just got there, and I was like, dude, it said we were already going to be boarding, but the screen never says delayed. It still says that we're taking off at like 1 something, and I'm like, it is 1 something. We're not on the plane. Like, what the heck?
Oh, no.
So it ended up being delayed a whole hour. The flight was like 30 something minutes, so it wasn't that bad.
No.
So then I get to the graduation, and my husband calls me, and I'm like, dude, I'm at the graduation. What the hell? And then he texts me, they canceled your flight. Did you see that? And I was like, no. And he had just called me before I went into the graduation to tell me that I got delayed to fly back at 11:50. So then I was like, oh shit. Okay, well, I'll just hang out at the airport. And I was like, it got canceled? And he's like, yes. And I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? I have to be back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was like losing my shit and trying to be like, okay. So he ends up finding 2 options. One option was like, I was like, I'll get canceled and then I'll get stuck in another state. So no, not that one. And then the other one was like expensive. But I was like, but I need to be home.
Yeah.
So it needs to be that one.
Yeah.
So I literally was able to watch him cross the stage, wait a little bit, and then I had to leave because I had to catch my flight.
No.
So I literally had to get an Uber.
Is that why you got edited into the picture?
That's why I edited my own photo.
No.
Yes.
What?
I
haven't seen it.
I took
I just thought about that.
I took a selfie at the airport, like a whole body, because my outfit was cute, and I wanted everybody to see it. Okay, and so I edited like a picture of him, like from the video that I took, because luckily they had put him on like the big screen, and so like I cropped myself into the picture, and I was like, so proud of you, sorry that this is, 'cause I didn't get to see him, and I was so sad. Literally, we FaceTimed, and I was on the plane, and I was like, well, I made it to watch you, like, but I had to come back. I was so like,
good Nina. That's like the Nina of the Year award.
Thank you. I'm trying my best. Okay.
Wow.
But the only reason why I got through that challenge was because Fernando helped me, and like he's always so adamant. We have like a joint email for like all of our stuff.
Yeah.
And yes. And I'm so glad that I used the email to book this flight, because I wouldn't have known had I used my individual one. Like I would have left the graduation and been like, shit, what am I going to do? Because the flight was still going, like the flight left while the ceremony was still going. So it was like, shit. So, yeah. So that was my challenge. Wow. And I made it.
It's a challenge.
I made it to both. And how did I get through it? Because of my husband.
but I saw her bestie's Facebook friends with her, and was like, "Where's Candy in these pictures?" And then I see like at the very end. Like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I was like, I had
It's
to
funny
catch
because you
myself.
always say that. You're like, oh, we'll Photoshop them in. We'll Photoshop
Yeah.
them. But the actual fact that
Literally.
you did it. Oh my god, I have to say it.
Yes, because I
Funny.
had to.
I love
Like,
it.
poor baby. I was like,
I
oh.
love
I
it.
was like, okay, well, at least I got to see him.
Yeah.
And then he was like, not like in the first row, he was like towards the back, and I was like, oh my god. And I had told my other godson, I was like, I have to leave by 7:50 because my flight boards at 8:15, and it says it'll take me 6 minutes to get to the airport, so I need to. And then I have TSA pre-check, so I was like, cool, I'll be fine. I made it in time. I made it to get a lemonade from Chick-fil-A and get on the flight. And luckily there was only like 30 people on the flight, so like we got to pick wherever, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god. But it was like so like high anxiety, and I was like, okay, breathe. Like he got you, he's taking care of you. Like don't worry. And I'm so grateful for him because had he not, like, what would I have done?
Yeah.
Like
Still over there,
right? I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Candy.
I
Yeah, that
know.
was tough. Oh, thank
Super
you,
tough.
Fernando. That was very
Thank
nice
you for
of you.
Not only is our IT support, but he's
He's like, are you husband? Yeah, because he was like, I'm like, please hurry. And then my phone was like low battery.
no.
On top of that.
I was like, shit, I still have to call the Uber. I still need my boarding
shit.
pass. Like, oh my god.
It's all bad.
Yeah, anxiety, but I handled it good with, you know, the big major help of my husband. But yeah.
We all need
You
help.
reached.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I just like, what do I do? And he was like, well, okay, well, let's do this. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Well, what about you?
Well, I literally just had my challenge. Challenged. I just had a little breakthrough, but maybe we'll talk about it later. Maybe we won't. No, it actually kind of ties in with our topic, so I won't talk about it, but I do want to say that thank you guys so much for being there for me. Like, I literally broke down, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was under a lot of pressure, and you guys just like had my back, and you guys just held me, you know, and just that is all I needed, you know, and like it totally changed the way I feel. Because coming here, like, I was like just thinking, right? Like, all the things are going on. I have to do this, I have to do that, this, and that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, shit, what am I gonna, like, how am I gonna interact with you guys? You know, like how do I put up that front or whatever, right? And fuck, you just said it. You just like asked me whatever you asked me, and I was like, and I just, right? And I'm like, gosh, how much better do I feel, you guys? And it's all because of therapy and like, you know, like,
Talking about
you know,
things.
talking
Letting
about
Sometimes you
stuff
just need
and-
people to listen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's important to be like, hey, I don't need your advice. I just need you to listen to me. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes people want to fix everything, and it's like, okay, sometimes like with Fernando, I'll be like, I just want you to listen. I don't want you to fix it. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, sometimes you just need people to listen. And I think that's what you needed, is just like somebody to listen and be like,
and not saying.
yeah,
Just,
dude, you're perfectly fine, the feelings that you're feeling. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah. So I overcame it by using my support system. And so that's my challenge.
Yay.
All right, so my challenge is it's about PTSD in a way. It's kind of like going back to my youth, like when my sexual abuse, and I got triggered recently over it, and I decided to write this person a letter, the person who did it to me, and I went to my last therapy session today. And
I'm sorry, you went where?
to my last therapy session today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Graduated. No, but I took the letter, and it felt like it was like a kind of like a like it finished the therapy session kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like ended the
Yes,
chapter.
like ended that
Oh
chapter.
my gosh.
So I read it to him, and he was just like, "Oh," he goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, "What do you want to do with this?" And I'm still deciding whether to give it to the person, burn it. I decided not to read it on here because that was one of my options. And I said, you know what? This is between me and the other person. And I just don't want to give any fuel to them.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to figure out within the next few weeks, maybe a few days, if I'm going to give it to them or not. But like Kenny gave me good advice. She's like, you know, if you do that, it's going to maybe, what did you say again?
I said it could like fuel the person to be like, you know, you're, what did I say? You're not antagonizing, but it's like you're attacking.
Yeah.
Like they're the victim of it because you're coming to them after all these years, you know? And it's like, but you're just now dealing with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of, oh well.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people don't deal with it.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
Especially you, because you're a male.
Yeah, usually
like
just...
that speaks volumes for you to come out and say it to the world. You know,
I did post it on Instagram, like a piece of the letter at the bottom, showing a little bit of something, and Facebook saying that I'm gonna go to like my story right now.
Yeah.
So that was my way of dealing with the triggering part, was writing the letter and just now trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
So, like it felt good, like letting it out.
It felt really good letting it out. Like, you're not in control of me anymore. You're not the victim. I was the victim, but I'm no longer your victim.
Yeah.
And it really did feel good. Maybe just leave it right there, right? Like, that's all they need to know. And that's it.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel, you know?
Yeah.
But then you have to remember just to let it go.
Yeah.
Not go back to it, because it's so easy to be
it
like,
is.
oh, fuck that. Or whatever, you know? It's like, no, I can't stop. You know, it's like your brain, like, no, stop.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's...
I know, you got a lot of responses too.
I did get a lot of responses today on that.
And I think sharing that, like I said, like I know a lot of people have gone through what we've gone through, and it's like a lot of times there's shame tied to it as a victim, and it's like, why am I ashamed, you know, to be quiet and to, you know, when you're, you know, you're just trying to heal something that was out of your control, that, you know, was done to you. And it's like, as adults, or like I always talk about this, like healing your inner child. And it's like dealing with it as an adult, like you writing this letter, you're standing up for little you when you couldn't stand up for yourself. You know, when you were like scared into not standing up for yourself, or like,
absolutely,
that
nobody, you know.
Yeah. Dang.
Very true. I like that. Standing up for my little me.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. Standing
and
up
doing.
for Pee-wee.
Little Pee-wee.
So this week's topic is PTSD. Do you want to give some facts about?
Yes. So PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. Overview of it. I got this from the Mayo Clinic website. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that's triggered by a terrifying event, either experiencing it or witnessing it. Symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety, as well as uncontrollable thoughts about the event. Most people who go through traumatic events may have temporary difficulty adjusting and coping, but with time and good self-care, they usually get better. If the symptoms get worse, last for months or even years, and interfere with your day-to-day functioning, you may have PTSD. Getting effective treatment after PTSD symptoms develop can be critical to reduce symptoms and improve function.
Literally my life story.
Yeah.
That's oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here it has like more of the symptoms where it includes intrusive memories, avoidance, negative changes in thinking and mood, changes in physical and emotional reactions. Again, we're not doctors. We're just going to talk about how we experience our PTSD, but we do want to talk about some of the facts of them. When to see a doctor. If you have disturbing thoughts and feelings about a traumatic event for more than a month, if they're severe, or if you feel you're having trouble getting your life back under control, talk to your doctor or mental health professional. Getting treatment as soon as possible can help prevent PTSD symptoms from getting worse. Also, if you have suicidal thoughts, if you or someone you know has suicidal thoughts, get help right away through one or more of these resources. Reach out to a close friend or a loved one. Contact a minister, spiritual leader, or someone in your faith community. Contact a suicide hotline. In the United States, it's 988.
988?
988. And make an appointment with your doctor or mental health professional. So, yes. Those are the...
As you're reading those off, I'm like, yeah, I do. I always associated PTSD with like just soldiers.
Military, yes.
And I never thought about like, no, yeah, you do have PTSD until like recently when I saw, a behavioral therapist and she was like, no, you have chronic PTSD. And I'm like, what? Me? Like, what do you mean?
Didn't go to war.
I know, right? But I'm like, okay. And you reading off all of those, I'm like, yeah, it was a traumatic event. Yeah, it is this. Yeah, it does get triggered by things, because even like there was somehow the situation where it was like not denied, but it was like questioned, and it like stuck in my head, like, how dare you, But I have a very vivid memory, and it was like, no, I remember this. Like, I forgot about it because there's a big gap in my, like, I would say maybe like 8 to 11 or 12 that I don't remember. My sister will tell me things and I'm like, no, I don't remember that, And there's things where I have to go ask her because I've blocked out. So yeah, a lot of my memory is blocked out between certain years. And it's obviously a trauma response. But there are little triggers here and there where it's like, okay, I remember that, and it's like, oh shit. And it's like, I wonder if I'll ever get those memories back, And
Damn.
Yeah. And recently somebody asked me, like, I remember being around you when we were that age, but you didn't change, your behavior didn't change. And I was like, I don't know, like, but I don't remember a lot. I don't remember them, So it's like maybe I disassociated and just like kept pushing, and it was like, okay, but now it's like, like reliving it, you know?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy you say that, because that's been happening like a lot lately, and it's like, like almost like deja vu kind of thing,
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just this time around, you get to control it.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. But like I said, I automatically PTSD, I thought I aligned it to military,
Yeah.
which you guys have been through, You guys have been through.
And I don't even
I'm
think
double whammy.
Yeah, I'm like,
double
for
trauma.
sure.
I was like, I'm not even there yet. I'm still working on the little one.
Yeah, me too.
Do you
I feel like that
Oh
too.
my
I'm like,
gosh.
fuck, like, when am I gonna get to? Because last night I had this dream. I was in Afghanistan again. Like, I've been having those a lot. Like, and I was.
Do you think that's tied to you dealing with your abuse? Like, it's bringing up fear induced?
No, because I've been having these. I always had these dreams.
Oh,
like,
okay. Because I was relating it to how I used to have my nightmares.
Yeah.
Like.
I ever something.
I scared myself the other day thinking of that.
Sorry.
I had Michael Myers dream.
Oh my God. I'm like, sorry. You did. I'm sorry.
Come to me.
I'm sorry. But yeah.
Oh.
It's like. That is so crazy to me that it was like, dang, I really used to have those, and that was really my trauma. Like, and trauma stays in your body.
It does.
Like, I went to Tulum last year, and I got a sobada maya. Like, I went to a little like pueblito to go get it done, right? Because of like we're we were trying to get pregnant, and so I had read that you carry a lot of trauma, like, in your body. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be in Mexico and I want to, be somewhere where somebody spiritual is going to do it, like that. To me, it was like, I'm going to seek help from the ancestors for this because I know my body, like, I know I sleep like horrible. I know, I can feel like so much tension in like my body and like, and I knew, and then I read it and it was like a lot of women carry, in their pelvic area, in the, their trauma, like it stays in your body. And it's like, okay, like there's something called somatic, is it somatic exercises or somatic workout? And it's to help release the trauma in your hips and in your pelvic area and all that stuff, because you do carry a lot of it there. And it's like, shit. And doing that, like I have major anxiety, like in water. And like I always say that I don't know how to swim, but I realized that it was my fear of drowning was bigger than my fear of, do I really know how to swim? And after that, I was like a starfish in the freaking water. Like I felt so free and so like I was like, what was I scared of? Like, look at I'm doing all this and I'm granted I had a life vest, but still, I still wasn't freaking out. But it was like, okay, like you move something in yourself, and it's like, okay, we got to take care of our body, because that's one thing is that I'm lazy. I don't like to work out. I don't like to do nothing. Like I would wake up I barely wake up in time for work. And now I find myself like just recently waking up at 5:30, getting up to walk the dogs and do stuff and like make a licuado
beat the heat.
Like that. Yes, but like with the whole PTSD thing, like I would have never thought like this trauma stays in your body and you need to release it.
And it stayed with us for a long time because how many years?
Yeah, I can't remember, and that's the thing. Like I don't even remember the exact age that I was that it happened to me. And I need to ask my sister because I'm sure she'll know. Like if I ask her certain questions. But I didn't rework on it until I was almost 30. And again, it was because of my husband, and it was like shit, like all of that had stayed in my body for that long, and it's like all those feelings and little triggers here and there, and I know that's why I drink so heavily, because that's how I dealt with it, and it was like, how much damage did I do to myself doing all that,
and you become like a bully because you're always like you're on defense all the time.
Always
like,
defensive.
Like, okay, crybaby and stuff like that. I'm like,
yeah,
yes, I need to be a crybaby.
Yeah,
because I need to like get over that. Yeah, like
you don't have to be strong anymore. You don't. You're allowed to feel your feelings and whatever. Because fuck everybody who wants to say that you're weak or what you cry at everything. Whatever. Yeah, but guess what? I'm healthier because of it. Like I feel my feelings and, because bottling up inside, like my therapist equated to, like what got me to the breaking point that got me to therapy. Like she's like, you were literally a boiling pot with the lid like this. And it was like one thing that set you off. And she's like, and all you needed was somebody in your corner to say, hey, I got you. Or, hey, let's work on this together for you to get there. Yeah. And because, like I said, those dreams stop, like just, I'm learning to still, because I'm still like very anxious and still like.
Yeah, you're still going to have your stuff, but you just know how to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm getting tools to learn, like through the workbook that I mentioned last week, or through like, this other book suggested like yoga and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, you need to do something for yourself because you still have, your body is so tense. Because even like, I started going to the chiropractor because I had really bad headaches and they were like stress induced. And so that helped greatly. But he would be like, relax. And I was like, I don't know how. That's why I'm here. Or like I get a massage and she would be like, relax. I'm like, bitch, that's why I'm here, to relax. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't know how to do it. Like, even the nail guy back in the day would be like, relax your hand. And I'm like, I don't know how. I thought it was like that. What do you mean?
I'm like, I don't know how.
Yes.
So they'll like put the whole pillow, like my hand is like all the way up here.
For you. Yes. And I was like, little things like that. Like, it's all the trauma and stress in your body that you don't realize. And I'm like, yeah, you need to take care of your body, because if you're taking care of your brain, it's still in your body, you know?
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
You need to release it, you know? Like, however it is, like, even the book suggests, like, put on some cumbia or put on something and dance it out, right? And I'm like, yeah,
I don't know how
it's
to dance,
true.
but I
Like,
like to pretend I do.
Right?
He said 2 feet Aguilar.
Hey, I'm out there though.
She's out there.
Yeah, and it's just like,
Yeah.
that's, you know, you have to deal with it. Like, you have to take these steps to, you know,
Yes.
lift some of that weight off.
Yep.
You know, because imagine we were so little, you know,
Yeah.
carrying that weight,
Uh-huh.
you know, carrying a secret like that.
It was
And
terrible.
it's like, yeah. And it's like, for what, you know?
You feel so guilty.
Because you don't want to
Yeah. you
mess up
feel-
the family dynamic. Yes.
And it's like, but why does that burden get put on
Mhm.
you when you didn't ask for it?
Mhm.
You know, you're the victim in this story, but yet you're not the villain, but it's like, but you have to carry the weight of it.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, wow, fuck, like, now I'm like, fuck you, fuck
Yeah.
you, fuck you, fuck you too. Like,
Right.
Yeah, same
I'm
here.
taking care of me, I'm taking care of little me, because I
Mhm.
couldn't back then. And it's like,
Mhm.
taking care of my body, and then it's like, okay, cool. Like, because sometimes I think about, like, do I even really know who I am? Because
Mhm.
I've had this
Mhm.
weight on my
Yes.
back. You know, like,
Yes.
Yeah,
how
I've thought about that.
how free of a child or how
Oh
free of
my
a
gosh.
teenager would I be if I didn't have such a, you know,
Yes.
weight on my shoulder, you know?
Yeah.
And like, with me, I don't blame my parents, like,
Mm.
because
No,
they didn't know
absolutely
better.
not. No.
And it was like, okay, now my mom's like, we had a conversation about therapy, and she was like, I'm glad, you know, like, I tell
Mhm.
people, like, maybe he's talking to somebody, you know, like, whatever. My mom is the #1 fan. Hi, Mom.
Hey, shout out to
Hi,
you.
Mom.
Yeah.
She'll be watching. She'll be watching the episode.
Yeah.
Tony claims he's the
Tony?
#1 fan.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks,
Tony
guys.
Baloney.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, but and that's another thing that I wanted to mention, like, totally off
Yeah.
topic. Sorry. But like, my mom said that somebody in the family visited her and then was like, I want to know how to see the podcast or hear the podcast. My mom was like, here, and she sent them the thing, right? And I was like, yay, you know, and it's cool, you know, like, talking about these things that we're not supposed to talk about. But look at how much better, like,
yes, and you
even
feel
like-
better.
yes, like, even as I'm talking and I'm watching you, and you're like affected by the things that I'm saying, like, you're relating to them hard, and it's like these are thoughts that I'm telling you, I want to write a book. I don't know what the book's gonna be about, but that's why I was like, oh, I'll be on the podcast. I got lots to say. But it's like, sharing these things and sharing these thoughts can help, you know, can help us.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. Like, you know, like, I relate to that. Let me look into this, or let me try this. But back to PTSD. Sorry. I have a lot to say.
It all intertwines. It really does.
But it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, that was like my cause of the PTSD.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my PTSD. Kind of my acknowledgement that, yeah, I do have PTSD. Which, like I said, I always thought it was tied to like war and like the military, but no, all these other things can bring you
Oh,
PTSD.
that touched a lot.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it
that was.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want this to end. We have to face reality.
yeah, yeah. I know.
Whoa.
Heavy stuff.
Good.
What about you, Renee? What's your experience with PTSD?
My experience with PTSD is some of it was avoidance, like when it like first happened, and trying to guess cope with it in some way.
Yeah.
And my avoidance was playing basketball all the time. I think I mentioned it before. Where I just play basketball
It was so
nonstop.
annoying.
Huh?
It was so annoying. We always had to do stuff around his games or his like. He wasn't there. He was like playing basketball. We have to wait on him.
Like I would play basketball all the time, just to like not. I guess it was my way of not thinking about it, right? Because if I were to read a book, then my mind would wander off.
Yeah.
Or do my homework, my mind would wander off into
Yeah.
like. So my schoolwork suffered from it, but that was avoidance. And then one of the things I did deal with too is also like sex being painful. Like I thought that me having sex with a woman was painful for like a woman, so like I was scared of having sex for like the longest time, and I avoided like touch. Like I hate people touch. Even now, I still kind of hate people touching me. Like if I don't know you, right?
Yeah.
And or if somebody will sneak up from behind me and touch me.
Yeah.
Like intimacy is fine now, but it took me a while to like figure out that it wasn't like painful. It was pleasurable.
Yeah.
And we're gonna touch on that subject.
Yeah,
next
we're
week,
definitely
actually.
gonna talk about like the stigmatism that sex has in the Latino community and how it's tied to like it's like a shameful thing, and it's like a lot of us are taught that sex is just for children, and you're never taught that sex is supposed to be pleasurable. So we'll go into that actually in the next week's episode.
Oh, it's gonna be so hard.
I know. Pun intended. That's what she said.
I was gonna say it. I was like, I won't touch that one. That's what she said.
You had to say it.
I had to say that. I had to go out for myself. But I have like a double whammy of PTSD. I like to call it like the compounded trauma. Or I joined the military. I think I joined the military honestly like to prove that I was a man, get my manhood back because of what happened to me. And I joined the military. I did 2 deployments. Afghanistan was probably like the worst one for me. I was out every day and saw some shit that like a human shouldn't see. I saw like body parts and just going outside every day was like your mind has to kind of like shift to like I'm not scared of dying. You have to shift into that mode, or else you're gonna be scared of doing your job, and that becomes the norm for a year. Like, how do you get rid of that?
Yeah,
and you don't get taught how to get rid of it. You just come back into the world. You come back to the regular world, and you're fight and flight mode, and like how do you're not taught skills. You just drop back off.
You know what? I have a memory of you on 4th of July, like being inside the house, like at night during the fireworks. Like we were hosting 4th of July at our house.
That was like when I first got back.
MVP, and you were inside the house, in like the living room, and like I didn't get it until it was like, oh shit, like this is triggering for him. Like these sounds are triggering for him, and then I was like, oh shit. That like I had never even thought about that, like how triggering fireworks and 4th of July can be for people coming back from
I think it's mostly when you just come back, because I think that was like when I first got back, and now they're fireworks. I know. Even Fernando, like we were watching something like with a lot of like not violence but like guns and stuff, and he was like, are you okay? And then you're like, yeah. And I was like, right.
I think because you guys, I think he said you guys were watching like Saving Private Ryan or something together. And he was like, I felt like Renee was like triggered or something. And then I was like, oh shit, like did I just put it, like he was so worried, And so last week we were watching a movie and he was like, are you good?
I remember that.
Good? And I was like, I don't think he gets it. But that's why. He was like,
I know, I figured it out. I was like, I was like, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Then you learn to adjust to it. Like when you first get back, like it's gonna affect you somehow. But
because I remember that first year you were having trouble adjusting. But
Afghanistan was definitely worse. And I'm still having dreams from it. Like I still have
go ahead, finish.
I still have like dreams. Like last night I had a dream about Afghanistan, and they still hit me. Most of it is like forgetting a weapon. Do you ever get those? We forget. Our weapon is like a super, like you cannot lose it. Like you get in big time trouble. And I'll have dreams of forgetting my cover, walking outside, my hat. You're not supposed to walk outside with your hat. There's just so many rules, and and then combine that with like everything like I went through like in the wars. It's like fuck.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Adjustment.
It's an adjustment, That's how I always feel like anybody who ever joined the military should get PTSD disability because your life is just so different.
It's
So different.
Yeah.
The way you process things,
Yes.
the way you act, the way you
Yes.
talk, like everything changes.
Yeah.
Like,
Even if you didn't get deployed, you're still taught
yeah, you still have rules. You still
to
have-
rules and taught fight or flight. Like you have to fight, right?
Yeah.
And like, how do you get rid of that
Mhm.
thought? Like, how do you get rid of that just what do you have to do to survive?
Mhm.
So I think a lot of the PTSD is like that, right? Like trying to get back into a normal civilian life.
Yeah. I don't want to equate it to like prison, but it, you know,
Oh,
it is.
I'd rather go to war.
Yeah, like, you know, like they just
Send me back.
That's and it's interesting that now PTSD is a disability. You know,
Yeah.
like it is categorized where you are a full financial disability
Mhm.
for it, and it's like if it's like military wise. I could imagine like how debilitating that is for other people who go through trauma, you know, and it's like because you're in the military and because of everything that you saw and everything, you know, you get categorized to be on disability, like in a official formal thing, right? But it's like how many people go through life undiagnosed or
Oh
you know
my
having
gosh.
to live life
Yes.
through
With
PTSD,
so
like.
much-
There's people that I know that I've deployed with a couple times, and they're so like, nope, I don't want disability for that. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like, why? Like,
yeah.
that's so.
At least for like the therapy part. For
Yes.
Because you know,
Yeah.
you guys saw shit. I didn't see things
Yeah.
like that. I was admin, so I was not.
One thing you don't hear about that counts for PTSD is military sexual trauma, and it's mostly women, right?
Yeah.
And
I think like every single woman.
oh God, I know so many stories.
That's awful.
It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like daily,
Mm.
you know, like it's
Yeah. And it's been
Yeah.
hidden. I think up until the whole Vanessa Guillen
yeah.
thing, that definitely shed a light and it definitely changed. It changed like law too, right?
The fact that she actually reported it.
Yeah.
And they did
That's
nothing.
Yeah.
And the fact that she had a family and a Latino family at that, because a lot of us are raised to not make waves and just, you know.
Oh, my mom was so pissed. My
Yeah.
mom and
Yeah.
and your mom. They were
What's
so
up,
mad when I
Vanessa?
joined.
Oh really? Oh shit!
Yeah.
Sorry, Tia and Mom.
Yeah. But.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that touched big time
Yeah.
with her.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's a lot of like the older men that like do like are groomers. No, a lot of married men. The groomers.
Groomers, their rank. They use their rank.
They use their rank and
Oh.
yeah,
Mm.
so bad,
You know what?
so bad.
What like tied to
It's
that?
not funny.
Like before I had started going to therapy, I had a boss. He was an old white man. Like he's at the company that I'm at now. He doesn't work there anymore. But it was almost like he was predatory because I would be in his office and he would put his arm around my waist.
Oh,
Oh.
hell no!
And like I wouldn't say anything because I was scared that I was gonna get in trouble. Like again, what you know. And I told Fernando one time, and he was fucking ready to beat the shit out of this old man. Like, and then he like left. Right, he got fired, but he said he was retiring, whatever, and they had something for him. And I went again because, like, you know,
Yeah.
I was scared, and so Fernando went to go pick me up, and he was like, the manager was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a hug, bye," and Fernando was like, "Fuck that," and he went and he grabbed me. And he like looked at him in the face, and that moment I equate to like he stood up for me,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
oh shit,
Yeah.
and that's why like
he
after
saw
that,
it and was like acted on it. He could have just been like, dang, and waited in the car.
yeah, and I think that's what it like that whole like PTSD. I was like, oh, like you know, like what do I do again? Here I am again, you know, like, and so I'm like, okay, like. This is how, like somebody stood up for you, you know.
That's
like,
so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Like I just thought about that right now. Like, oh, you
I
stand up
love
for you,
that.
you know.
Actually, real quick, it did happen to a male. I felt bad for this because he was 19 years old and fuck. I apologized to him recently because I was like, dude, like, I'm so sorry I didn't do anything. Like, to the females too. I'm like, fuck, like, I wish I would have done something, but I'm like, what could I have done? I wish I would have, like, spoken up for you. And.
Well, we just, like,
You.
make us watch these videos that, I mean, when we were in, they made us watch these videos that were so, like, corny, and everybody would laugh about it and not take it serious.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was just like, hurry up and get through it, you know, like.
Check the boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, dude, like.
Yeah,
and
so.
it was people that you would never
Thought they would do it.
They would do anything.
Yeah, he was 19-year-old and the female sergeant was like 26 and she was grooming him. And it was sad. Like, I feel bad for him still. Like, he got treated like shit for it. This is like a male,
yeah,
right? Like,
and that's another
different.
thing. Like, there's such a stigmatism, but it happens.
It happens
like,
to males too.
It does happen.
But mostly to females. It's not like
but still, but that's because females are the ones that talk about it the most. How many men are really talking about what happened to them?
Yeah.
Because one, it's emasculating, and two, you know, who's gonna believe you? That's another thing.
Yeah.
You know,
and nobody wants to touch that because they're like,
oh, you should be happy that somebody, you know what I mean? Like, and so because women report it more, maybe that's why, you know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Shit.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does. But, like, also being a woman is fucking, you're looking out. We had a conversation about it. It's like,
we're always on guard. Like,
yeah, you're always on guard.
That's sad that you guys have to be
can't
on
walk
guard.
at night. Like, I walk my dogs at 5:30 in the morning and I have a knife in my purse, in my, in my pocket. Like, because I'm like, fuck that, like, you know.
And you'll always play what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, walk into your car. You check your car, you check the back seat.
As soon as I get in my car, I unlock just the driver door. Then before I even get in, I lock the door, then get in. I don't stay on my phone. I just, whatever. At the gas station, same thing. I'm like, no, somebody can come and take my car.
Because they're taking people.
Yeah.
They are taking people at the gas station, or they're taking people just...
Yeah.
For sex trafficking.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's so bad.
Like I'm a 6 foot, 200-pound male, and I don't even think about any of that stuff.
No, like, when you put gas, you got to be aware of that, you know?
Who's going to take me? Who wants to take me?
You know what? They would.
Yeah.
Shit.
They have been taking people because, you know, there's a lot of sick people out there.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's all... There's no look. There's no sex. There's no, like...
Yeah.
You know? You're a body, you're a body.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. And you add PTSD.
Dang, guys!
A very deep conversation.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What I wanted to ask you was, with everything going on in Palestine right now and like all the images that are coming out, does that affect you at all? Does that trigger you at all?
It makes me sad. It doesn't really trigger me like in that way where I'm like, oh fuck, like flashbacks or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
That's what I mean.
Well, actually, no, I can't say that because I do have dreams where I'm getting sent back. Like I'm back in the military and I'm getting deployed, so I do have like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah, because I think about that and like, there's so many images that are like traumatizing, but it's like they're things that need to be seen.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's how history repeats itself, like when history is hidden. And I wonder how that's affecting people who have gone to war, who've been on both, you know, on the other end of it, and how they feel during all of this going on.
Right now, I'm just like, fuck, like this is all fucked up. Like, I'm not for either side, but I don't want to get political, but like, just Palestine is getting fucked up and so not fair.
Yeah, it's happened for years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that coming into this episode that I thought about, like, how is this? Because now it's a little bit more in the news, and a little bit more in like,
images.
Social media and stuff.
Yeah.
And seeing those images, you know, would give you flashbacks, or how it would affect people who have had to, you know, go into this.
Yeah. Oof.
not at their own will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at their own will, but not at their own will, kind of thing.
Oof.
Oh, okay.
I sometimes I'm like, fuck, dude, might I have to go back? Do you ever think that? Like, oh shit.
I've had a couple dreams.
Yeah.
Like that. Or even like high school stuff, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have high school
I have
dreams
high school
all the
dreams.
time.
Pisses me off. They're
I
like,
hate those.
oh, you were missing a credit or
Oh,
something.
yeah, I get those
Oh,
too.
I was that.
Well, I'm back in high school.
Oh, you keep a diploma.
What happened?
Nothing was doing.
The other one,
Yeah.
the other night, I made a funny, like a post on Facebook that I actually remembered my combination.
What?
And I was like, does that mean I'm healed?
Yeah.
I still remember.
That's funny.
I still remember my combo. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. That's funny.
I hate those ones though. Those are like the worst.
Oh,
Rather have a war dream.
oh my god. Oh my gosh. You're funny.
Damn PTSD.
Damn you. We will fight you.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like if I didn't have this, I would have went home and drank, or
Oh my
you know, I
God.
would have done something stupid or
Mhm.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I feel so good right now.
I'm glad.
That's good.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Mhm.
Good. That's what we're here for.
Yay.
That's
what we're here for.
Yep. Okay. I think that kind of settles out everything. What do you think?
I think so. That was a good
I
talk.
think it was a very productive
It's a long one for
It
you.
started off very productive, okay, behind the scenes. So next week we are going to talk about sex, shame, and body intelligence in the Latino community. So if you have any input on that, you can always hit up our Instagram. Anything specific that you want us to go over on that, we'd love to hear feedback, or we'd love to hear, you know, any questions that you guys want us to go over, or any, you know, we love interacting with you guys. So that was episode 6. Thank you for joining us here at Don't You Know I'm Loco podcast. If you are in need of medical care, please contact your local provider. If you are having thoughts of suicide, please call the National Suicide Hotline at 988. In case of an emergency, call 911. Join us next week as we talk about
The things we're not supposed to talk about. Bye. Subscribe.